All right, we're flying it in here. Got the gantry crane holding it up. We're going to go ahead and give it our first test fit. It's not sitting squarely on the strap. All right, so I think we do have a fitment problem. Let me get it level on the bottom there. So it looks like this space in between here isn't exactly centered. I think it shifted to that side because once it comes up and slides and hits where we just machined, I feel a burr right there too. I think I probably hit it going in there. Yeah, it looks like it's got it shifted to that side, this channel inside here. So I'm probably going to have to go ahead and cut this portion, or at least cut one side of it or something to see if I can get it open up a little bit. I want to see if it at least fit the slot. I wonder if we can. I got to be real careful with this because it's just hanging in a basket here. It's not choked. Okay. I must have dinged that corner when I first brought it in there. All right, let's try this again. So I think I'm definitely gonna have to go in there and trim that bottom channel area. But I want to see if it's going to fit inside. Oh, it's going. Look at that. All right, what happened there? Oh, there we go. Oh, now it's trying to catch that bottom. Well, it's in there now. I think our body is going to fit inside the main casting body, the dynamic jaw body, should I say. I think it's this chin area that's going to give us the hang up there. Yeah, look at that. See, it's going in there. All right, so it's this. That is off center a little bit on the casting. It looks like it's off center to this side. So if we come in here and clear this out and just give it some clearance, and it doesn't look like much either, maybe 10, 15 thou at the most, but it does look like it's sliding in there. So I think our main body may work, but we also have this area down here that's in between. So we may have to go through here and cut this, just trim this out, and then rotate it around and do the same thing to that. I want to make sure that it fits before we swing it around, because once we do, we'll have to tram it and get it all aligned. And I like it being right where it is, where we cut all four sides perfectly in line with the ram. So I think this is going to work, guys. Let me do a little thinking on this, and we'll come back and see what we come up with. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and clean up that inside portion down here underneath our step. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up, take 15 or 20 thou off of it, and then we'll rotate the vise body around 180, and then I got to do the same thing to this section right there. I believe that's all that's hanging us up for getting our vise body in there. So I got everything set. I'm just running a 2-inch stroke length there, and I'm positioning it right there. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be a heavier cut, so I need to make sure everything's locked. I didn't do that because we were feeding vertically, so I had all this unlocked. You have a bolt on each side that you tighten up, that sucks it up against the main body there. And then you got a support that's underneath the camera here. You lock that one. All right. Can't see it. I guess I need my mirror. I just can't see the cut from where I'm standing at. Looks like we're just trimming the bottom. Got my dial indicator set up over here. There we go. I was just trying to bump it 5 thousandths. Two thousandths every. I literally can't even see the cut that's being made there. Looks like we trimmed it up though. All right, what I'll do, I'm gonna move the ram back. I'm gonna get a measurement on it and see where we're at. This isn't gonna be very accurate because the other side's still cast, but it'll kind of give me an idea of where it's at and about how much I've taken out of it. Yeah, I've given it about 20 thousandths. I'm gonna leave this side alone. I think we'll go ahead and rotate it, do the same thing on this side. Well, I got good news and bad news. Let's just start with the good news. And that is, I think our jaw is actually gonna fit just fine. I did this off camera because I've been fussing with this thing, trying to get things situated. And I wanted to go ahead and try it with the vise body turned around 180. And lo and behold, it is sliding in there. It is going. See if I can do this one-handed situation here. Yep. Right there. And so, oh, it's still kind of bound up there on the strap. Okay. So you can see we've made it all the way through there. So that's good. Our fit is good. It's just this channel down in there that we're messing with. But the problem I had, I go to flip this around and then the chin is hitting the bar, so I got to take the bar out. Well, I can't take the bar out because there's no room to drop it out of the clapper box. So the clapper box has to come completely off the machine in order to take this bar out in order to put the short bar or the other clapper box on there. I was gonna put the short bar on there and just use that right there in that channel, which is probably what I'm gonna do, is keep using this tool that we've been using and come in there and skin that section out. So I've got to get this clapper box off just to change the bar so that we can continue on with our cutting. But this is good news right here. We know that it's fitting now. I know that I'm not gonna have to worry about, is that gonna be too tight? Is it not gonna fit? So we have success right there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this getting this swapped out, and got to get it trimmed in there, get it indicated. And I'll show you guys when we're ready to do this cut over here and clean it up. It's going to be this other side. Since we've got the jaw reversed, now it's hitting over here on this side. So we need to cut that side right there and get it cleaned up. Change of plans on our tool setup. I come up with a configuration that I've never used on the shaper before, but I think it's going to work out perfect. So instead of putting the clapper box on there with the bars over there, I wanted to go back in with this tool so that when we get this cut, I'm betting that once this cut is done here, that this is going to be over with. But when we cut the chin, when we started off, remember we had to have the tool hanging way down so that we clear up here so the lantern would clear. Well, I decided to try this. We've got the lantern off to the side, tool that way, and that's the beauty of that Armstrong number 42, I believe is what it is. You can turn this tool, they got different pockets there you can turn it in. And so I just turned it so the tool's going down. I already had one ground that would work. And so now we can just set up. We're not taking a lot of material. I'll set up our auto down feed here and just let the tool head feed down until we get to the bottom of that little radius area in there. And I think that's going to work. We should be able to make one pass across that and get it cut. So I'll show you. I've already got it. We've already got it touched off. Wanted to make sure everything was good. So see, we're clearing. Got the clapper box swung to this side so that whenever it picks up, it arcs back out of the way. All right, so now we just got to get this guy set up right here. All right, that's the end of our stroke. So what we'll do is go ahead and slide this up on the ramp. Got our T-bolt here that locks it in. Just make sure it's all the way up on the ramp. When then this pawl comes up on this ramp here and pushes it up, you got a series of gears going through here, which turns that screw on whichever division you have set. We'll probably set it at a, 16 or 20, something like that. And let's make this last cut. I'm just checking all my feeds. There's nothing engaged over here. I've got it set at 16 thousandths. There's the cam action. Almost to the bottom. Okay, there it is. Beautiful. All right, I think that's all we needed right there. Just gonna let off of this. Is it gonna go? All right, here we go. No, it didn't go. Oh, I know what it is. I know why it's not going. We're going in the wrong way. That's right, because it's offset. We're gonna have to spin this guy around the other way in order to test fit it. That's why I've got a little gap on that side and it's hitting on this side now. Okay. Sometimes you get ahead of yourself and you don't quite think everything through. I feel good that it'll fit. So I think we're gonna go ahead, crack it loose, spin it, and try it the other way. One thing I will say is that I think the fitment in here is really, it's really close. It fits nice. All right, we need some lifting action here. Come on. I don't think it's gonna go. I think I need to clean it up again. It's trying to, but it's binding up. Well, if it's binding up there, we know it ain't gonna fit. So we're gonna just have to do what we just did again. Come on, man, get out of there. There you go. So I'm just gonna repeat what I just did there. Probably take another 20 thousandths off that side. We just need clearance there at this point. I'm ready to get this done. And hit the nicely machined finish while you're at it. It shouldn't be bad lining it back up. I just got to tram it, make sure it's in line. And then it's just a matter of lining the tool up again on the edge of the part. Let's give it another shot. Is this gonna be the one? We have movement. And it's bound up again. All right. I'm not sure what it is this time. I don't know if we're still hitting. I thought we were going to get it that time, but it doesn't seem like it wants to go. What is it hitting now? It's hitting something. I don't think it likes the alignment of the bottom pad. It's definitely still tight. I'm gonna have to take a breather and step away from this for a little while and come back and rethink it, because I've had about enough of it for one night. So that tells me that I need to step away from it. That's what we're gonna do. It's the next morning. I had to step away from it last night, take a little break. Sometimes when you're working on a project, you get your fun out of it, and then you're ready to move on to something else, you know? And that's kind of what was going on last night. Is in theory, this should have fit together, but obviously we had issues that we had to tackle. So cleared my mind last night, stopped thinking about it. I came out here first thing this morning and started fitting the jaw again, and I started using a feeler gauge, thickness gauge, and checking it in all places and seeing that we had a little bit of alignment issue that we had to deal with. So even though we're cutting all these sides in straight linear patterns, they should all be aligned. The fact is that they weren't 100%. We're only talking a few thousandths of an inch, and it only takes 1/1000th of an inch to create a press fit on something. So if it's not perfectly aligned, it wasn't going to go together, and that's what we were dealing with. So I've been making a few cuts on this front corner here. This back corner here. And this top corner right there. And I'm talking 5/1000ths of an inch. I just made a pass up here on this side, and I'm getting ready to fit it again. I think it might go this time, because when I fit it on this last trial, I was able to start pushing it through there, so it was like a slight interference, like it was still rubbing. So I wanted to take another 5 out of this side, because I couldn't get the feeler gauge to go in there. So let's try it again. And I'm hoping that it fits this time. Is it gonna go? Touchdown. That makes me feel so much better. You see, I instantly got a smile on my face now. Instant success. All it takes is a little bit of clearance. Let me make sure that, let me give it a feel and see if it feels like it's gonna have some clearance in there. I don't want it tight. still a super precision fit there. There's very little side-to-side movement on it at all. It has a little bit more top and bottom movement. I think we got it. I think we nailed it that time. The 2 thou feeler gauge is trying to go into that side. That was the tightest corner right there. Down here and this corner, sort of opposite, were the two issues. I feel much better now. Put a little grease on that guy whenever we go to assemble it. It's gonna slide like butter. It's got a nice movement to it. Let me stick an indicator on here and see what kind of room or what kind of play is in it. Got another dial right here we can use. Five thousandths that way. Let's go a lateral movement on it, see what it does. I'm just going to call that 4 thousandths. It looks like 3.5, maybe a little more, but 4 thousandths lateral movement side to side there. Yep. So 4 thousandths side to side, 5 thousandths up and down. That actually gives it the tolerance that I was shooting for to begin with. Not bad. All right, so I think what I'd like to do is go ahead and clean my mess up. Let's get the tools out of the way. We'll feed it over. We'll just leave the bar in it, although I don't think I need it anymore. Let's move it over, and I want to bolt the the serrated jaws on here and slide it together and see what kind of alignment I have on the jaws right there, because that's going to be the other. That's still the other unknown, because I haven't been able to push it all the way back. So let me work on that, and we'll check that out too. All right, we've got our serrated jaws bolted on there, and we have yet a couple more surprises. Starts getting a little bit tighter right there, but we'll go ahead and push it all the way in. The jaws don't come all the way together. I've got that sucker machined nearly all the way to this radius right there, just like the other one that I have. So in theory, it really should have come all the way together with these jaws. So not quite sure why that is yet, but that's not a big deal, because I already had plans on machining my own jaws for this vise. So that's what we'll do. We'll just plan on machining our own, probably like soft jaws, but I'm not sure yet. It's going to be another project down the road that we're going to get to. And whenever we put it together, I had a scale. Yep. So it looks like we've still got about 3/8 of an inch for it to completely close together. So whenever we make our jaws, we'll just simply make them thicker there, so that whenever we close it all the way up, they come together like they should. And technically you could set it up and machine some more of this casting out right there, but you shouldn't have to. I mean, it's even on both sides. I took it right to the corner of that radius, and it should line up. All right, now the other thing is our side-to-side alignment on the jaws and our height alignment right there. And so just using a rule right here, a scale, it looks like I'm somewhere between 10 and 15 thousandths out of alignment side to side. I'd say somewhere between 10 and 15, not bad. It's actually the same thing on the other fireball vise that I have at the other shop. It's not 100% lined up on the sides. It's 5 to 10 thousandths. So this is probably going to be normal right there. And as far as the top, I think it's aligned actually. The thing is that this jaw here has a slight taper to it, so I don't think it was milled 100% square. This jaw, the scale is sitting completely flat, and then as it comes across, it touches this corner of this jaw right here. So that may be just in the jaws itself. So I'm calling it good enough. It's good. Now, as far as this fitment goes, I think what I may need to do is come in here and take another maybe 5 thousandths off of one of these corners. This corner back here, the last one that I worked on, I think that's where it's getting tight. I've got a 2 thousandths feeler gauge there, and I can't get it to go in. I can't get it to slide in. So probably gonna go in there and just take another little 5 thou pass to kind of give it a little extra clearance, but it will. See, I can move it. So that's telling me also that it's such a close tolerance on the dynamic jaw body there. I don't have complete 100% accuracy in the thickness or parallelism of the jaw body there itself. It's getting a little bit thicker as it comes down towards this end. But I'm happy with where I'm at right now. We finally got to this point where we could put the two pieces together, and that's what I'm happy about. So I still got just a little bit more to do on this thing to get it where we can, you know, screw it completely together. And I'm just going to continue working on it from here. I want to get a little bit more clearance on it, and that's really all I'm going to worry about at that point. I'd like to get it to where I can completely slide this moving jaw all the way in like it should without it getting tight or binding up. All right, we got our binding issues cleared up. I could see that it was rubbing right along here, that front corner, and it had literally no clearance there. So I touched off and took another 5 thousandths off of this one corner, just the side of it, not the top. It goes all the way in there like it should now. It's got a nice sliding fit to it. It's good now. Just needed a little bit of clearance there. And Jason had told me that it is important that it has at least 5 thousandths of clearance, because during his development of these vices, I guess he realized that if you had it any tighter than that, when you actually put this thing under a bind and you start pulling on it, it'll actually deflect enough to, it'll cause it to bind up. So that's why he said, you know, give it at least 5 thousandths, upwards to 20 thousandths of clearance in there for movement. And I guess if it flexes, you know, as you put a lot of tension on that screw as you start pulling it together. So I'm real happy about that. And he also updated me on the fitment of these jaws right here. You know, so these are the serrated jaws that come on the imported model of the Hardtail Vise. And he says that there was changes made, slight changes here and there. We've already kind of dealt with that with the USA version over the past year or so. And they actually come with thicker jaws on them. So that's what the problem with the spacing there is. But he said he did send me his other jaw that's got the V machined in there, which is a thicker jaw. And he says that one is the correct jaw that fits on this vise right here, not necessarily serrated jaws. All right, so I feel confident that we've actually got it machined to the same specifications that Fireball Tools does whenever they manufacture these, although I think they're still working on the manufacturing for the USA made hardtail vise. But guys, we have it fitted together. It's got a really good fit there. I'm real happy with our tolerance there. So shape proportion is now finished up. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna take a little break on this. And since we're ready to put this thing together, I wanna come back and do a full assembly on it, get the screw in there and put it together, put the proper jaws on it, and see this thing bolted together and actually functioning with the screw for the very first time. By the way, how do you guys like the logo? I love the way that turned out. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about when we open it up. Just grabbing my tape here. So like I said, you open it up 12 inches. You can see the full logo there. And then when you collapse it, should have about 6 inches. This is going to be more the standard working area that we're in right there. All right, so let's follow up with a complete hardtail vise, bolted together, put together for its first time, completely assembled. Hey, a quick little update on the bolt-on jaw situation that I was having there. I had forgotten that Jason actually sent me a pair of these aluminum soft jaws and one of his V jaws as well whenever he sent the castings to me. I had these in the toolbox at the shop and completely forgot about it. But I had contacted him and showed him a picture of the issue I was having with the 3/8 gap in here with the thinner serrated jaws bolted on. And he kind of filled me in a little bit of what's going on. So this is the USA version here, the USA castings, and then you have castings that are made in Taiwan. So he's got the Taiwan version and the made in USA version. There's slight differences in the castings between the two versions there. And it's not necessarily something that you're gonna see, but I think we saw it right here with this. He says the original vise that he developed was built around this size jaw right here. But the Taiwan made version, they had issues with material thickness on the jaws right here. Why that is, I couldn't tell you. But the thinner serrated jaws fit the Taiwan version, and the USA casting is machined for these thicker jaws. And you can see I got those bolted on here now. I got this V jaw. They had only sent this one because at the time that he sent it, they were out of stock of the mating pair, but they just went ahead and sent that one anyway. But the thickness of the serrated jaws are made to 1 inch, and then the thickness of the V jaw and the aluminum soft jaws are made to 1 3/16, or about 1.2 inches there. And on the other hardtail, you've also got the steel, the solid steel jaws that have the parallel step machine in them as well, which is an extremely handy feature to have in your jaws right there. If you've got, you know, a square piece you want to just set in there and tighten it up, it works really well. So that clears up the 3/8 gap issue that I had. Since these are 3/16 thicker than those, that equals 3/8 of an inch. And now the jaws actually, they go all the way completely together there now. And I still have about a 1/16 of an inch before it hits the casting there. So it wasn't a machining error. It was just something to do with the design of the jaws up here and the bolts-on jaws that go on to the USA made hardtail vise. So I just wanted to point that out so that it didn't look like that we made some kind of mistake with our machining or whatever. So whenever I still plan on machining my own jaws for this. That's just going to be another project that I want to do down the road, and kind of copy some of Jason's ideas and maybe machine some V's in there, you know, have the steps machined in there, that kind of stuff, and just have our own shop-made jaws that we bolt on there, which was what I was planning on doing to begin with. So it worked out that, you know, I still had these in a box that I completely forgot about. The other thing that we can do whenever we make our jaws, or even these jaws right here, when you get them bolted on and the thing is completely assembled, we can tighten this up, put a piece of material in here, tighten it up, set it up in the milling machine and just go ahead and deck this off with a face mill, and then come here on both sides and just mill it with an end mill to square those up completely, since we're about 10 thousandths out of alignment on it, which is not a big deal. That'll just be an easy fix to get our jaws completely in line with each other on the outside of it anyway. So anyway, that was just a little update that I wanted to throw in there so that you guys could be aware of the issue that we were having with our bolt-on jaws, and just kind of inform you of that. All right. Let's assemble our Made in USA hardtail vise. we have a successful machining and assembly of our Made in USA. I want to consider this the very first Made in USA hardtail vise. And I'm real happy with the outcome. This has been a heck of a project, but it's been a fun project to machine and build and create the content of all of the operations that we've done on all of the different components here and sharing it with you on the channel. It really has been fun. We've got to use our old school machines like our Genie Shaper, our K&T milling machine down there. I've used the Dual mill. We've used the Milltronic CNC machine on it. You know, the manual lathes have been. So we've used quite a few of our machines and tools to get this vise built. And one of my takeaways from machining this guy is just what all is involved in actually machining something like this. You know, I think it's really easy for folks that have never machined a vise before to kind of overlook the fact that there's a lot involved, from the designing of it, the engineering of it, and then finding a foundry that can cast all these pieces for you, and then finding a machine shop that can handle all the machining of the components. You know, the way that I showed you, the way that I showed building this, machining it, all different setups, that was more for a fun personal project. That wasn't any kind of way of showing how these would be mass produced in production, because you would have specific setups made for each component part that would be set into a machine, onto a fixture. The machine does the cutting very quickly and efficiently. They pull the part off and they keep repeating that for however many is going to be built. For each and every component, there has to be some kind of custom fixture made so they can quickly hold it, do the machining, remove it, and keep putting other parts in there. So there really is a lot involved. And I think that this project that I have shared with you of building this Made in USA hardtail has kind of really shown what it takes to machine something like this. And I know a lot of people would probably be interested in one of these vices built by me, but let me just be the one to say that I have no intentions on machining any more of these hardtail vices. It's just this one right here. This one's going to be the #1. I'm considering it the #1, and I don't plan on abusing it, although Jason at Fireball Tool has proved how strong these vices are. I don't plan on abusing it in any way. This is more of just a fun project that is going to be something to always admire and enjoy in the shop. You know, we'll have it in the shop. We'll be able to, you know, enjoy it, and we'll use it, but I'm not planning on bringing a sledgehammer over here to it and beating on it in no way, shape, or form. I'm really happy with the outcome. I learned a few things, you know, going into it, stuff that I might have overlooked. It's really easy to do when you have parts that are completely cast. You have no reference surface to start from. You have to make your reference surface and then build on top of that. And that right there can be a challenge too. And trying to learn Fusion 360 and machine parts that are cast, that's not really, I wouldn't advise on trying to learn in that way. You know, you want to kind of start with simple parts like these jaws right here and start with that and kind of build up into more complex parts that are a little bit harder to fixture and machine. But I did have a lot of fun, and I hope everybody that watched has enjoyed the process. I know it's been a long run video, but we've really enjoyed the process of sharing it with you. I also want to point out that the project is not completed either. Obviously, you can see that it's bare metal, so we still have paint or some kind of coating that we're going to be dealing with. I have not decided on that. We're going to speculate on that later on, but so we need to paint it. That's one thing. But there's some other components on this that I still plan on machining myself. And those are going to be projects that we'll get to a little bit later down the road. And what I want to make is the spindle. I want to create my own spindle. We're going to machine that. We're going to use a manual lathe and a CNC lathe to get a spindle made. So we'll be machining, I believe it's an 1¼ inch 5 Acme thread on that spindle. Probably use a nice piece of pre-hardened 4140 to do that. And I think go in the CNC lathe to make the meatball shape on the end. That'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to make that. The nut that goes into the hardtail, I'm going to machine my own nut. We'll probably use 4140 for that as well. So that's going to be a project all its own, because that's probably going to be a 2-piece nut that I'm going to make in order to get that project done. The other things that I would like to make for this vise are these guys right here, the clamp bolts. I want to make my own clamp bolts right here without the handles. I would like to make something that looks more like this right here, the hex nut. I want to have just a nice big fat hex on there so that whenever I want to loosen and swivel the vise, I'm going to have a wrench like this that we can come over here and use the wrench to be able to use that to loosen it up. That way I don't have these. I love Jason's design of this. There's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. It's completely functional in every way. But handles in a vise is something that's always bugged me. And I like to be able to tighten it up and have them kind of in line parallel with the body of the vise, and it never works that way. So I'm planning on making those guys with the hex on it. All right, and I think the last thing that I would like to make for it are my own custom jaws. We're gonna make, these are soft jaws supplied by Fireball Tool, and Jason highly recommends using this, and I do too. They're soft jaws so they don't mar up your workpiece. But I would like to take and just machine my own custom jaws, probably have some V's in there. We'll have some parallel steps in there. Not quite sure yet, but we're gonna make our own jaws. And I will point out that we did have a slight amount of misalignment with the dynamic jaw and the main jaw body. You can see that we don't have absolute perfect alignment right there, but I used the dimensions that were given to me to machine all this together. And after I machined both pieces, as I was coming in here and doing the inside of this, I didn't measure this and do any kind of verification to make sure that my stack up was right. So we had a little bit of stack up error with alignment here, but you can see it's very close. It's within 10 thousandths, you know. What I plan on doing is once we get our jaws machined and we get it bolted on here, we're gonna take the whole vise, just like you see it. We're gonna take it to a milling machine, get it clamped down. We'll put a piece of material in here somewhere so that we can come in here with a piece of flat bar or anything and get it tight. And then we're gonna finish decking these guys off on the top and on the sides so that everything is absolutely true. If we need to mill the inside, we'll do that too. But that's how I was gonna address that issue, is bolt our jaws on there. And you can do the same with these guys right here. Go to the mill machine and go ahead and use a face mill that off, side mill it, all you need to do. Perfectly close enough. But we got it close and I'm happy with it. So really not a whole lot more to say other than I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this series. I had a lot of fun sharing it with you and bringing it to the channel. It's been an excellent channel project, but we still have a lot more to do on it. So we're gonna take a little break from the hardtail, and then I think this summer we're gonna get back on this guy. I have some ideas for the paint, but we haven't decided yet. We're gonna bring you guys in and fill you in on that and see what you think. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you on the next video.
Can the jaws be pink?
Pink jaws. I've already been had with a pink vise. I don't think I want pink jaws on there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's awesome.